Wunderbar.
Okay, we good? Yeah, we are here. All right. So, just an introduction for my teacher. This is going to be episode 1 in a series of live streams. 4 episodes total. This one is going to be on privacy, as you've already read in my proposal document. And I have 2 of my colleagues with me, and we might have some people in the live chat. And this entire episode will be dedicated to talking about just online privacy, social media sites, why it's important, and the factors kind of around it. So, without further ado, could you 2 just introduce yourselves, use whatever name you want to use, so I have proof that you're here.
I will be called Mega Chad. And that's me. I am here.
And we are also here with Cats.
I will go by the name of Cats because I don't like my real name being put out on the internet.
Which is already the first step of good privacy. And
Yes.
we will be joined by other people in the chat. So I need my phone because I want to time each section. So do one of you have the Discord document up? Because I have to look at this.
I have
Just of what what I laid out. No, just of what I laid out.
Yes. So the structure is 15 minutes of why privacy is important, then 15 minutes of why companies exploit said privacy, what do they gain from things like targeting ads towards you, and etc. 15 minutes of what is the future of online privacy given to current technology and political climate. Will it get better or worse? What platforms are at risk of exploiting your privacy? And finally, 15 minutes of further questionings or comments on the topics and what ways to protect yourself.
Well, that was awesome. I didn't expect you to read it, but I appreciate that. And we will start.
I thought you just asked me to read it.
Yes, and we will start the. Oh, and can somebody do the @ everyone? We're doing this.
Oh yes.
Sorry, I'm in game. Otherwise, I'd do it myself.
I don't know how to do.
Well, it's all right. Chad can do it. Anyway, but yes, we will begin right now. And the game that is being played is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, released in 2008. Very good shooter, but you don't need to know that. You just need to know this is going to be a good live stream. All right, and we're going to start right now. So, all right, guys, just spitball with me here. We're in this digital age, right? And we're in this age where everything's online, everything's connected, quote unquote, kind of like the Patriots from Metal Gear Solid 4. But what are the problems? And we can go in. I don't care who talks first. I will always go last in every questioning thing. But why? What are the problems you immediately see just off the top of your head with online sites, social media, and just privacy in general?
Well, I got one. Every time you go onto a site, they always ask for your name, your username, your password,
Captain Price,
email address.
Al-Assad just executed President al-Falani on national television.
Just
The
one
Americans have
set
plans
of
for
information
Al-Assad, and it's too
leaked.
late to do
It
anything
leaks
for
out a whole
al-Falani.
bunch
But in
of
less
your
than
own
3
private
hours,
information.
codename
Like,
Nikolai
for
will be
example,
executed.
A lot of
Nikolai, sir.
mobile
Nikolai
games
is our informant in the
and
ultra-nationalist camp.
video games nowadays have an online
He supplied the
component
intel on the cargo
where
ship
they
operation.
ask for your credit card to buy things in game.
Yeah, very true.
And once you do that, your credit card is permanently associated to that account, and if
Nikolai's
your
in hell
account
right now.
gets
We're going to walk him out.
leaked, then anyone knows your credit
We'll
card
take care of our
information,
friends.
which can then
Let's move.
impact your financial situation.
Yeah,
that's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, well, and the sad part is, like, in these online sites, you mentioned ads like credit cards and everything. Well, yeah, once you even just put it into Google Play, for example, it's there, or the Apple Store. And I hate that too.
That's what you're asking.
Yeah, and for example, like on my own email, like these keep on going into the spam folder. So, like every day I delete a couple hundred, or not a couple hundred, but a couple emails to like, oh hey, real name, your Facebook has been hacked by a guy named Aman or something. It's this
Aman
weird name. Yeah, and it's like
On your Facebook.
Now, that was a very creative name to come up, but keep going.
it's your Facebook has been hacked and they've logged onto your Facebook, or you have been someone has done a background check on you, view the results, and I'm just like, that is a complete scam, and if I click on these, someone's gonna get my private information.
Be silent, bot.
He's down.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, and you, Mega Chad, you're up. Or unless you're not done talking, Cats.
Oh yeah. Are you finished?
Well, no, I also have one last.
Yeah, go ahead and add it, and then we'll go to Chad.
sometime in my real world life, someone got a hold of my credit card information, and this was when I was younger and very impulsive in spending. And it's thankfully I had spent all the money in my account already on video games, because I got a call from my bank, and they're like, "Hey, did you just purchase two $500 couches?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Yeah, you didn't have enough money to purchase these couches." And I'm like, "I never did purchase couches." And they're like, "Okay, come to the bank." And that's when I knew someone had somehow gained my credit card information without me knowing. And I'm just like, it's scary just to think about how, like, on the internet, how little privacy actually means. Because if someone really cared, if they really cared, they can just get it.
Yeah, it's very true, and it's becoming more insecure these days, especially with in our class. And I'll let you talk, Chad. But I want to add this: in our class, we talked about how companies buy and sell data, and that's being exchanged on a daily basis, and very scary stuff. But Chad, you're up.
Okay. So, as far as this subject goes, there's not like a whole super large amount of things that I really worry about people knowing. But and this is an experience that I had recently with my friend. He was gonna do an April Fool's joke, where he would send a link to a website he had created with a script on it that could literally just take like this is the stuff of jokes like you're trash talking on COD and they list out your freaking house number,
right? Like
your address. He made a script that just did that. It just got that.
Yep.
We should just beat it out of him, sir.
That's crazy.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we'll repeat that. Someone did what to him?
Okay. So, my friend has an April Fool's joke.
Heads up, Tango's up front.
Which
I heard that
was,
much. Yeah.
Okay. He made a website with a website software. And like a browser software, right?
Right.
And he added a script to it that would record the person's positional data.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's running out of time.
Right? Like, and a bunch of like super important information to keep quiet.
That is illegal, and
of course it is.
If they found out, well, actually, this brings up a good point. Like, a lot of these things, gathering the information is illegal, but because it's so hard to track people, it's hard to crack down on it because there's anonymous. You can use throwaway accounts. Like if I really wanted to, for example, hack into MegaChat's account, I could just.
Or this channel, yeah. Hack Fruitcake.
Or hack Fruitcake, yeah. If I wanted to hack Fruitcake, I could literally just make a strange Google account, Sam from Kentucky, and then I was born on September 5th,
we've got to reach that house before anything happens to the informant. Let's go.
1901, and they wouldn't be able to track me off of that because based on the data that I gave to that account, apparently I was born in 1901 and I'm from Kentucky. Yeah. Because of how anonymous it's hard to track down on it, even though it's illegal.
No, it's perfectly alright.
Oh, hey, by the way, can somebody check the stream to see if this is too loud? I may have to turn it down.
Yeah, I think it's too loud.
Okay, I can fix that.
Yeah, that is too loud.
Here, let me here.
I usually have to just turn all the game volume off.
That's what I usually do. It's stuff. Yeah, I can dig it.
That's what I would do. I just turn the volume down so that
here. That should be good now.
So they can hear us.
That should be good.
Yeah, that's
Well,
good.
everything else is still audible, I think. It was just the game was audible.
Yeah. I mean, so,
Alright, but yeah, no, Chad was onto something, right?
Yeah, he took the conversation away, and I don't think.
Oh,
I
no,
had
no, I'm
anything
sorry,
else to
no,
say.
Kat, you were onto something.
Well, I was just saying, like, how hard it is to track people doing this illegal data information gathering just because of how anonymous people can be. If they really wanted to do it, they can just do throwaway accounts. Like, on YouTube, I'll watch.
Oh, man, that Mad Max guy, that Max joined us.
Well, yeah, Mad
Oh,
Max.
yeah.
Point, yeah.
Mad Max moment.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, like, I like to watch a YouTube thing called RPG Horror Stories, and a bunch of people will upload these to Reddit. And the first thing they say is this is a throwaway account, so people can't identify who I'm talking about.
This is Bravo 6. We have
And I'm just like,
meet us at LZ1.
that's what a lot of people will do.
Bravo 6, this is
Yeah.
Big Bird. We're on our way. How?
Which sucks because it really ruins communities too, and it gives a lot of people a bad name, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean, I have to agree with that. I mean, I agree with both these guys, but with Katz, you mentioned credit cards earlier. Oh yeah, I am very conscious about where I buy stuff from, and where I just use that type of information, or like give them even my PayPal, even though that's secure. I don't like having my. I like to pay more with cash than a credit card these days if I can. It's because all it takes is, I know several people that have had their stuff swiped at gas stations where they'll be the chip readers in like the pumps or whatever, and they'll extract data from that, and they're able to get their credit card information. And I mean, in terms of online privacy, like all of this is done digitally, so it's very relevant to digital technology because that's how people steal stuff, is just online, or even IP addresses, And we'll go to social medias for a couple minutes before we can start talk about something else. Is like on Twitter, on Facebook, on a lot of different sites, people they either understand or they just don't care, or they don't understand, is that everything's stored to a server. And I do not like to post on Facebook or be on Facebook because it just, everything's saved there. And I mean, Facebook is one of the most public places to post anything to, even if you don't see it.
Oh.
And it's shocking. I don't like social media, not just for that reason, but for many others.
You just said something that hit me. I recently learned about Wikipedia. I know about Wikipedia, but I recently learned that anyone has the right to change data on Wikipedia. And like,
Oh, they do, yeah, they absolutely do.
and it's like, if anyone can just go ahead and change the information and data there, how do I know I'm on a secure site? And like, yeah, stuff like that.
Yep. Oh, it's a very big deal. And, as we continue to push more innovative technologies, it's only going to get worse. I mean, and when I look at Capitol Hill, when Mark Zuckerberg gets questioned by the politicians up there, nothing will get changed. They'll keep finding loopholes in technology will be happening just like any other law for years. And it just sucks that I hate big tech. I absolutely do. I think a lot of people do as well. I know these two guys do. And it's unfortunate that they're going to keep dominating more and more parts of our lives the more we let them. And that's why we got to be conscious as consumers to be aware of privacy. I did that because you can cheat and shoot the terrorists through the wall. Anyway, but yeah, people just need to be more conscious about what's going on. People live in this bubble, and it's just so stupid.
That actually segues very well into the next segment that you had planned.
Yeah.
Going a little bit ahead, but
that's fine.
Too perfect.
Say your piece.
Why companies exploit privacy? Well, that's easy.
Money.
That too.
Exploit privacy because it makes easy money. If they know, hey, based on this person's personal information, they prefer Apple over Android, which means if we start advertising to this person a lot of Apple products, like maybe the new iPhone 26, they'll be more incentivized to buy something from us. Or a big one that I always see is online ads for like companies like credit cards, coupon place called Honey. and like all these big.
Money matters,
all
though.
What?
I said, oh no, did you say money? What'd you say?
Honey.
You said honey.
Oh, honey. Okay.
Like I keep on
Hey,
seeing a
Red.
bunch of Mr.
But keep
I
talking.
keep on seeing a bunch of Mr. Beast things about honey, how it's gonna save you a bunch of money by
Oh my gosh, I
by
missed 2
installing
legs.
it on your computer.
Yeah, they do a
Just
lot
like,
of sponsorships.
They do.
Yeah, and that also makes sense. Like sponsorships, like all these companies, like if you have a platform, big companies will always reach out to you and do business deals. Like for example, Raid Shadow
That's how they
Legends.
do power. Yeah, oh yeah, that's another example
Raid
of that.
Shadow Legends. Like I can't go a day without seeing one of my favorite YouTubers just sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
Or like see a Raid Shadow Legends ad. It's everywhere, and it's that type of like it's like fishing. Like they're just sending in a wide net in order to get.
Oh
as
yeah,
much
to get as
money.
many people, as many consumers in this case as they possibly can, and which is also dangerous because it affects how, you know, it's like, you know how YouTube like has like the algorithms about how what ads we watch and it tracks that. Oh yeah, it goes right into that because they're trying to target ads, and that's also an issue with privacy because they're trying to tell us in a way what we want to see, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's still bad because I want to watch videos on my own time, not have ads shoved down my face of what they think I want. I hate that.
A perfect example. There was a movie, I think in the 80s or 90s, with the sunglasses, and like it was about the aliens taking over through propaganda. You know what I'm
Oh yeah, They Live. Classic 80s movie.
Yeah, They Live. It's like
Fantastic
we are
example.
sort of in a They Live scenario.
Yep, true that. I know we are, and I think it's really being controlled. But before we keep going, any thoughts on this, Chad?
No, I don't. I mean, like, I don't have quite the same understanding or thought process as you guys. So I think you guys have said all I can really think of.
I think you have something to say about YouTube ads, though.
Oh, well, I use an ad blocker anyway, so it doesn't matter to me.
No, but like, you know,
Ad
the
blocker,
concept.
not even-
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Not even ad blockers are useful because ads will just find a way to get around ad blockers. Like okay, so
Well, in
you're
some
blocking these
cases,
kind
but
of
my
ads.
case.
me and Chad, but I use the same thing. We use ad blocker on the computer, and it works like flawlessly. But no, I'm saying more the concept of ads and how it's targeting people. I think
Yeah.
you have something to say about that.
I mean, like, for people who want to see more of what they have like seen before and they enjoy, I mean, I suppose that's fine. But
Yeah.
like, it prevents them from seeing a lot of things that they could be seeing.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
And that's important. Well, and in a way, it is taking away freedom to a degree. It depends on how you analyze it. But anyway, but it's been 15 minutes. So what's the next section?
Block removed at the 12-minute mark. Is the second.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's continue talking about. Just reread that guideline for it, though. Again, 'cause
It is companies exploiting set privacy and what do they gain from targeting expertise, which we've only been talking about for 3 minutes.
Yeah. No. And we are. Yeah. Sorry. I'm so
Sorry, we've been
focused.
talking about it for 5 minutes.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, we can go to this till the half an hour mark, I guess. I know I said I go last, but I guess I can go first on this one. Why do companies do it? Well, we already established that it's money. Money is a huge part, and it's clicks. It's clicks. I mean, they want data. All companies want data, so I mean, they're willing to exploit privacy. You know, because in the way they can. I mean, they'll find the loopholes within the law. And it's like information. They want as much. They want to hoard it. You know, you see those hoarders on Dr. Phil. They want to hoard information instead of clothes.
Phil.
Yeah, Dr. Phil. Yeah, the hoarders. But they just want to exploit and get information, and because it's all power to them. But you have a thought.
I have something to say about this. Like,
Yeah.
if this was a war, and just like keep in mind that the information is the most powerful weapon in any conflict.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like this
Like-
mission. We have active intelligence to go take down this
Like-
terrorist,
like,
but it turns out to
For
be wrong.
example, if like say I was on a mission, say I was one of those action heroes, and I'm like, okay, I gotta save the president. I'd be a lot more confident knowing, okay, currently there are 26 scrubbers that I have to go through in order to save the president.
Right.
But if I didn't have specific information, I'd be like, okay, what type of guns do I need to use? What type of entry points do I need to go through? How many people should I bring? Like, just like
If you were a real
information-
action hero, you wouldn't need any people.
No, listen.
Real
There's
action
only
heroes
one
don't
thing
exist.
action heroes need. That's plot armor.
Mm-hmm.
You have enough of that, you're totally fine. But keep going.
And it's like how. Just thinking about it, it's just like information changes how a person will act. Like the media is a perfect example. Like they'll only give like partial information and like
It's biased.
bias information.
Bias, yeah.
Companies will do it too. They're like, oh hey, if you buy like for example, Google and Android, like Android's like, oh look, we're more complex. That means we're better than Google. But Google's like, oh hey, we're simpler and easier to use and friendly to the user compared to the complex Android that's hard to understand and more expensive. It's like both sides are trying to use information in order to get people to buy them.
Company's tank is stuck half a click north of here.
Alright, I think I'll come back to this one.
I think this was a misplaced connection of mine, but it reminds me of a joke. Come on down to 1x1 Steakhouse. You buy one, you get one. There's really no deal to it.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, and I think so speaking of, since we're this is an academic podcast in a sense.
Mhm.
What was I gonna say? Oh, the live streams, the TED Talks that we watched for this class. Cause we all watched them. I can vouch for both these guys. I know they did. One of them was exactly what you were talking about, Katz. I remember the lady. It was the one with the boots on, and she was talking about how, just we're creating a dystopia by using these online platforms and letting them have so much control. And that podcast, compared to the rest of them, hit me the most because it's true. Like, I mean, and there are different laws in different countries for how, like, I guess in Europe, she was mentioning in Europe that data is managed a little bit differently. There's more rules to that. Not quite sure what she means by that, but it's in her TED Talk. It is like, in her mind, it's just crazy because, like, with YouTube ads and targeted information, you can cause addiction with that, and you can cause it opens up Pandora's box for a plethora of issues. Get out of my way, guys. And just get in my way. Just okay. And now Corporal Cook and then Gaz once again got in front of me. Gosh, these freaking people.
I see how it is.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm stuck by a fence. Sick. I want to fight the bad guys. But anyway, in her TED Talk, we're creating dystopia. And then in another one, it was kind of interesting to see the Devil's Advocate, and that one about 4chan, that guy was doing for like the case for anonymity online. Yeah. And it was interesting to seeing those two contrasts because, like, the guy for 4chan was like, oh, it's great, and then in her podcast it was, oh, well, it's kind of a problem, which it is. So anyway, just an interesting
it can be.
Yeah.
Double-edged sword because
it is.
I understand both points. Like, for example, like, I don't want my real name on this YouTube video because people can just take, like, sure, it's highly unlikely, but they can take my real name and, like, just find me from it. But but like that the threat, like, of the threat of anonymity. I can't say the word anonymity.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Is also real because you're like, oh, if someone wants to do something, I don't know who they are. Like an anonymous threat. Like, you don't know who that is. You don't know if they're serious.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's scary to a degree. It really is
scary, but then there's also the protection of anonymity, like saying like, oh hey, I want to speak my mind here, but if people know who I am, they'd be biased towards me, so I'll just use an anonymous name. Right. And that way I can speak freely, like forums.
Yeah.
Like on forums. But
yeah,
like,
Reddit is a good example of a forum that everyone speaks on.
Yeah. And it's like the anonymity is both good but also terrifying because it has both beneficial and negative purpose.
Right. Really, I didn't reload. I think it's one of my favorites. This is probably it's not my favorite mission, side note, but it's one of them, man. I'll tell you, this game just has some really good shooting, and the levels are really designed well. Ooh, that guy's getting mauled by a dog.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's gonna. Oh, Corporal Cook saved the day. Thanks for stealing my kill. But anyway, no, it is a double-edged sword, and the problem is we live in a world where not only am I being surrounded by Russians, but Russian collusion, but My teacher will get that joke. But anyway, it's just people don't always behave, and that's the problem too. You know, it's like tools. Like, you know, the tool is not the problem. The people are. And it sucks, but it's true.
That's a point to go off of.
It is.
Anonymity. Like, if I was talking with my real name, there's some stuff I would never say out loud, but like when I have the shield of being anonymous, no one knows who I am.
Yep.
I can say whatever I want, and there will be no apparent consequences because no one knows who I am. They can't tell who I am. I'd be like, it would be like trying to pick a person, pick a person out of a crowd who's like.
Oh my gosh, I missed.
Who's wearing black clothes out of a crowd of people wearing black clothes. It's nearly impossible.
Oh.
You could have just said needle in a haystack.
Yeah, I realized that halfway through, but I was.
Yeah, we had to let him finish his thought. That's just too important to. But
yeah.
We get what you're saying.
So, it's like that.
Yeah. By the way, Chad, how is it looks kind of lagging behind, a little choppy on my end for the stream. How does it look on the actual like quality of the video itself?
It looks pretty okay.
Okay, good. So make sure it looks kind of choppy. But yeah, you know, and what are we at? We're at the 24-minute mark. Well, and I think we can all agree on this that it going forward. Well, okay, actually, I'll go to what Cats are saying for forums. Yeah, you know, I honestly am not a big fan of Reddit or forums. It has its very dark, or even 4chan for that matter, has its dark places. Come here, buddy.
Yeah. Obviously,
and the principle
of any community.
Yeah, and
really.
the principle of it, like using it effectively is cool, but it has a lot of issues.
Well, that goes back to what I said earlier. Like, the protection of not knowing who you are allows you to speak more freely and say you can say insulting things about people, and no one will know who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but then again, if people are that interested, they can find you easily, and that's the scary thing about it. Yeah, I mean, like IP addresses can easily be traced. A lot of people I think more people know that now than they did like a decade ago, but it's still true. You know, it's always the guy.
Doxing is a very serious threat.
Yeah, you know, it's always the guy in the window that's taking those pot shots at you. Come here. Oh, hello! I died. That's unfortunate.
Oh.
That sucks. I missed my knife, but that's okay.
Yeah, you're lagging behind like 1 or 2 seconds, but that's it.
Okay, cool. That's good enough. But anyway,
but I think that's just stream stuff.
It is. What the? Get out of my way.
Get out of my way, fence.
Oh, it sucked. That was just my own fault being a little too cocky. But anyway, yes, IP addresses, like it's just. I mean, that's a whole other issue. Even just tracking and like, oh, cookies. With the stuff we leave behind on the internet is very. You know, just scary stuff when you put it into perspective. Were you gonna finish your thought though, Cats? I think I kind of interrupted you.
Remember, we went all
Alright. Anyway, but okay. Now we'll switch to something else here. You know, we're talking about data being stored and everything like that. What do you folks think about social media?
Who then?
That's a topic I know we could go. Overrated?
Social media. Overrated. A waste of time. It is a good way to keep in contact with people, but it's mostly just a toxic community.
And by the way, just for clarification, this guy's beating up a terrorist. But keep going.
He's not just this random.
He's not just randomly just beating. Yeah, he's beating. Yeah, these are SAS guys, Special Forces, getting information from a terrorist. But keep going, Cats.
It's mostly just a waste of time. Like, nowadays, I only use my social media as a way to play.
Oh my god! Hold on, guys. I gotta interrupt you. Do you see that guy's eyes?
Gas.
You see his eyes?
I think his soul just left him. Okay. I should say that I don't like. There's a lot of things you could like subscribe to on Reddit and places like that, but I really only go onto them for the memes. Because I think they're funny.
Most people do, yeah.
I actually went onto Politics Sub, and I was like, no, thank you. I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, those are, the Politics subreddits? Or you're talking about subreddits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Politics subreddits get really dicey, man.
I avoid them.
Yeah, there are a lot of places on Reddit that I avoid because they get really dicey, but, But you keep going. I think you were still finishing your thought.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it can be bad, can be good. It depends on the severity, or like what you think the severity of the bad is.
Yeah.
Compared to the good. I mean, like, I feel like there's a lot more leniency with jokes because they're jokes. They're supposed to be funny.
Yep.
They're not serious, but
the sins of our fathers.
I'd have to disagree with that. A lot of people on the internet tend to overreact to jokes that they find offensive.
Yeah, but that's overreaction to something that's not super serious.
And we're sort of going away from
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, we're good. Hey,
right.
no. I mean, we're doing some organic commentary with this anyway, guys. So I mean, as long as we're not going off and like talking about like the United States and wine country, I think we're fine. That's yeah. But keep going though. I think that's a good point though, Katz. I mean, I'm with both of these guys on that. I think people just overreact in general though.
Oh, and they're like. Have you ever heard of, like, I assume we've all heard the term cancel culture.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably from, like, Twitter and such, or, like, talking about Twitter and such. But, like, I would rather keep my stuff private so that I don't have that threat of my life being ruined because I made a joke 4 years ago, or, like, 10 years ago.
Yep.
That some people today find offensive.
Well, it's like with Kavanaugh. Remember, you guys all heard about that. Like, they slung him in mud because of stuff he said years ago, and it's interesting. Really right now? Okay.
Well, you're trying to use a scoped rifle in
listen, 360 no scope with an MP5, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that.
Anyway, Cass, you got anything to say about that?
Oh, you hit what I wanted to say.
Oh.
Well, Kat, so what's been your experience with social media? Just any...
non-existent, because for me, social media exists. Hey, I have a phone game on my app that can connect to Facebook that allows me to save its data.
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta interject this before you say anything else. The Oculus 2, the new VR headset, has to be connected through Facebook now.
Really? I thought they got rid of that.
It has to be connected to Facebook, and that is, if we're talking about privacy and everything else, that's a huge issue. A lot of people hate that, and me included.
That sucks.
Yep, and it's just a hassle too because you have to be connected. It's like, listen, I don't want to have to be connected to play a game and to enjoy myself. I don't want to like be like, oh, Facebook. I don't care about Facebook. I just want to play my game. But it's been more... Oh, DRM. DRM. I'm sure we all have something to say about that. DRM's a big... I hate DRM.
What's DRM?
DRM is always online games.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Do you mean like
the Sims 3?
So what the Xbox One was going to be.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had to be connected to internet. Yeah, and that also is a big privacy issue, too. But keep going, Chad.
And there was like The Sims 3 and Diablo 3. Everyone hated Diablo 3 not only because it always had to be connected to the internet, whether or not you were playing online or offline, but also because they basically just ruined the game. But that's a side note. I don't think I have any other examples.
Yeah, well, the issue that I have with DRM is not just that it's annoying, but like when stuff has to be connected online, you have no idea. In the case of our academic conversation here, you have no idea what they're collecting half the time, and they basically, when you're DRM, you're giving them full access to, like, let's say they're good and they want to hack you, you're giving them full access to a lot of things that you're not aware of, and it sucks because, like, we want safety everywhere, but I mean, it's like the agreements that everybody signs on to, me included. We
would never read them.
Exactly.
They're in like legal speak that nobody but lawyers can read
or understand. Yeah, and it's just, and people, I don't think we understand as a society how much we give away. Yeah, again, myself included. And who knows what's in the fine print? That it's just, but that's scary, and that scares me even. It's like, what am I missing here? That I don't kill German Shepherds often in games, but when it's going for
only
me,
when they're aggressive.
I gotta do something, man. That thing's gonna kill me. Anyway,
I could never manage to knife the dogs before they killed me.
Oh, I will prove that to you in this stream. I've done it quite. That's the most fun to do it. Anyway, and no, I do not condemn killing dogs in real life. What was I gonna say? But anyway, cats. Yeah, no, cats. Your turn. DRM.
Well, it's first of all very stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
As the points you stated, but it's also
Oh my gosh.
because one of the reasons why it's stupid.
There,
is,
Chad, I did it. But keep going.
Another reason why it's stupid is due to the fact that if I'm always offline, what happens if you're like traveling between states and don't have internet connection? That basically means my form of entertainment has been stripped from me. I am dependent upon specific conditions in order to enjoy something that I already own. I am beholden because the company designed the product to work in a specific way that it should never have been designed to be.
Right. And well, and DRM is what games have you played with DRM that have really pissed you off, if any, Cats? Oh, did I lose you?
Well,
okay.
No, the games that I play online are forthcoming and saying like,
yeah,
oh, this game is online because it's an MMO. You can't play an MMO anywhere else but online.
Yeah.
I've never played The Sims.
The Sims.
Destiny 2 does have an offline component. It's not a very good one. It has.
Right.
I've actually never had experience with
sorry guys, I just want to acknowledge how this landed perfectly. Look at that, defying logic. M249 saw, man, defying logic.
This is what we game for.
To see moments like that, glitches as we call it in the gamer community.
I prefer to call them unintentional features.
That too. Well, just in case my teacher doesn't understand. But anyway, but keep going, Cats. Games that you were talking about, the games you play online that are going to be DRM anyway because it's online.
Most of the games I play are DRM anyway. And a lot of the games I play like are DRM anyway, but like they tell you forthcoming that they're DRM. They're not. It's like
well, it makes sense because it's online. It's online.
I expect certain video games to be DRM. I don't expect an entire console. I don't expect an entire gaming console to be DRM.
Yeah, which is what the Xbox, as we said, almost did.
It was a complete difference because
dude,
I'm perfectly fine with a game being always on. That's cool. But when something that I physically own has to be always online in order to operate, then that's not good.
Yep. And just context for that scene, that was one of the terrorist's sons that killed himself because he doesn't want his information because he's crazy. Fun times.
See, information is the most powerful weapon.
Yeah, and it killed a guy. It just killed a guy right there in front of our eyes. And I'm not laughing at the guy died. It's horrible, but it's just like it's just there. Anyway, but and I keep cutting Cats off. I'm so sorry.
It's perfectly fine.
So-called leaders.
But, yeah, I mean, nothing should be DRM. I am against DRM. I think all of us here are, honestly. I know Cats is.
I agree.
Well, no, it depends, because I'm okay with games being DRM, but I'm not okay with technology being DRM.
Well, what I'm saying is this, like, online games, that makes sense because it has to be online. I'm saying stuff that doesn't need it, where you're in agreement where it doesn't need to be.
That's exactly, that's the point I've been saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a talking thing or something to say.
Okay, do it.
Right. So with MMOs, they are inherently online all the time. Just that is the basic structure, and it's built in, and it's fine because that's how it was from the beginning. But with games like Diablo or just anything else that has like a single player mode, you shouldn't have to be online for that to work.
Well, yeah. And I mean, for Diablo, the only thing that was online was basically the marketplace.
Bravo 6, Griggs just activated his
yeah, and
emergency
PlayStation
grab
Store
finder.
was, in terms of gaming, that was something where you could buy stuff online, but it wasn't DRM. It was just like any other site where you could just buy it and download it. Because you could be offline and still play games. Which, you know what's funny, is people on PlayStation 3. You know what's funny? People are selling. This is what they did with the PS4. Remember that first-person VR horror, the first-person horror game that Hideo Kojima was making? You guys heard about that? I think Cats knows. Yeah, the Silent Hill one. It was a Silent Hill one, and people were selling consoles for over $1,000 because you can't get that demo anymore. Example, my point is an example of like when you can download stuff non-DRM, but people will in a way kind of abuse the non-DRM stuff. But yeah. It's like anything else, double-edged sword because it's a man-made object that we create, and people just need to control themselves, but not everybody can control themselves.
I must have Griggs in one of those houses. An entry point through that basement door.
Who is there?
How far along are we?
We are at 40 minutes, or we're at 30 minutes.
Yeah,
in
we're
terms
at 40
of time.
minutes.
Yeah, these go fast. These go faster than
we
you
are
think.
supposed to move on, but
Oh yeah. So
that
no,
was a
what's
good one.
yeah, no, and it's a good point. Keep us on track. What's
Our
the next topic?
one is what is the future of online privacy given the current technological and political climate?
Oh, wow, we've already been on that.
Well, no, but we didn't really discuss too much of the evolution of it.
Yeah.
So I will go first. So we'll do 10 minutes for this, 10 minutes for the last one. Okay, so the future, as I mentioned before, is it's gonna get worse. Whether you like it or not, it's gonna get worse because whatever laws get made, they're gonna find loopholes in it, and the more people use online substances, sounds like drugs, online stuff, without proper protection, without people being level-headed and getting laws into place for protection and privacy, yes, we are going to run into many issues down the road, and we are going to just keep seeing these examples of... Where's the other guy at? Sorry, I'm missing somebody. There he is!
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we're going to keep running into problems, and so it's crucial to attack this issue now, and to you know make sure we have secure servers, making sure we're in negotiations with people to be able to, like, you know, and politicians, and just getting our voice heard. That's kind of where I stand on it. It's gonna get worse. We need to attack it now. But and then whoever's next can go ahead.
Well, I think a big problem is or a big problem that could become a problem is one of the examples that I can't remember which TED Talk it was, but someone brought up like Facebook and their ability to literally just gain voters by
Oh yeah, I know exactly. That was the talk that I was talking about with the lady. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was literally like 16 by 16 pixel images that got like 3 times the results, right?
Right.
But if that could be, and I think she also mentioned this, was that if that could be leveraged to like gain voters for a specific candidate.
Yeah.
Okay, team 1. We got Griggs and we're coming out.
Oh yeah. Then what could they implicate? Well, what could they create down the road? They could influence entire nations, which I think she even said that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it is scary. But what about you, Katz? What say you for the future of privacy and digital in the context of digital information?
It's only going to get worse from here.
Okay. And I just want to just be curious, add more to that. Why is it going to get worse in your opinion?
Well, because currently, in my opinion, we're heading towards like the video game VR era, like where everyone wants to be like, oh, I sit down on my bed and my mind goes into virtual reality.
Also, side note, never try to plant C4 and then sprint and then detonate at the same time. I guarantee you will lose your footing and fall. But keep going.
We are currently heading into an era where people want to go into
We're breaching the perimeter. Stand by.
virtual reality is starting to become a bigger part of our lives as its technology becomes greater and greater.
Yeah, you know what the biggest market for virtual reality is?
I swear, if you say what I think you're gonna say.
Yeah, it starts with a P. Yep, that's the biggest market.
It ends with porn.
Yep,
Yes,
pornography. But yeah, keep going.
It's just once we get into the virtual age, technology is gonna have such a firm hold over people because our minds will be in a virtual space.
Right.
People can just I'm pretty sure this is far-fetched, but like they can probably start just taking information out of the machine itself instead of like, well, you can't do anything because you're preoccupied within the machine.
Right. So the machine, in a sense, will control you, right? Is that kind of what I'm getting at? Yeah. All right. There's actually a trick to take out the people in the choppers. So the grenade launcher doesn't take down the chopper in one go, but you can shoot it into the where all the troops are and take them out in one go, which is kind of funny. I will demonstrate once I get to that point. Okay. And I'll tell you what though. What was interesting? Ooh, grenade! Okay, this is like one of those moments where I'm gonna just use a flashbang. Oh my gosh, RPG. Yeah, Ultimatum, man. Side note, just for the game's sake, is probably I think it still is my favorite mission. The way it starts and the way it ends is quite fun. This entire game is beautiful, but just graphically and aesthetically. Anyway, but yeah, you know, and I think virtual reality is a good point to bring up, Cats, because people, I mean, technology is very capable of consuming you. And, I mean, there's been several articles and debates, everything about addiction and social media. I remember for class, one of the things we did was a podcast where this guy actually was studying somebody who was on social media a lot. And, you know, was just, in that podcast, one of the creators, somebody who designed the algorithms, like, watch this. So you just gotta just arc it right into the back there. And bam. But anyway. It was about this guy who was helping to create the algorithms, and he was on the bus, and he saw somebody watching a video, I think, and the guy was happy initially, the creator of the helper, because he's like, oh, sweet, you know, my algorithm's helping people watch videos, great. But then he realized that you can, it could persuade entire groups of individuals to believe in conspiracy theories and all this other stuff, and then he got scared. He's like, wow, is this what we're doing? So to your point, Cats, yeah, like, considering how influential, especially how VR is and how, dang it, I died, and how real it is, I mean, that will probably be more of an influencer than what we have right now, because it's so real. You can be in that environment, physically, in a way, virtually.
Heads up! Watch those RPGs on the rooftops! Man down.
But anyway, yeah. If anybody else has something to add, go for it.
I don't think I do. I mean, it's just the ability to influence individuals with persuasion via things that like the people who created them don't even understand.
Yep.
Like it has literally been stated that these people who make these algorithms, there comes a point, and it's not too far off from like when these algorithms were created, that they don't understand how they work.
Yeah.
Because it's just too complicated.
Yep.
It becomes so complex that it is impossible for a human to understand.
Yeah, that lady, same talk that we're talking about, that TED Talk, she said the same thing. I remember she mentioned that, where the creators, like, the algorithms that they use for, like, facial recognition, you remember that part? And how they can just detect people. It's crazy. They don't even know how that works. She didn't even know how that worked.
I saw a video of people, of Hong Kong protesters, taking down a facial recognition tower.
Yep, yeah. I remember that. Which is pretty recent, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's like, didn't it begin in like 2016 and still going on?
Yeah. I know that China's having a lot of issues going on with it right now.
Yeah.
But especially Hong Kong being, happening recently. And just, anyway. I mean, and there's an entire discussion to be had on politics and technology. Because, as Chad mentioned before, and Cats, both of them, but mostly Chad, is that, like, they can... The technology that Facebook uses, for example, or Twitter, they can analyze groups of people and they can sway votes. And, I mean, I believe that technology has that power to really influence elections, especially further down the road, and it should be monitored, And that's why, I'll tell you, like, this past election and I'll let you go, Chad. This past election, when I went to go vote, which I voted for Trump, they were not asking me for ID. And yeah, what does that have to do with privacy? I mean, it's just, it is a huge thing with privacy and technology, because people can, if we're making it to where people don't need IDs to vote, and they vote, digitally or whatever the case is, it's going to be a big problem. That could have massive implications in the future of the security of our country in elections.
Yeah.
But were you going to say something, Chad? Did I cut you off again?
I can't remember what it was. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Bravo 6, we're still working with the Russians to get the launch codes.
Oh, I gotta add.
We should have them shortly.
This is actually perfect. This will take us to the end. What were you saying?
We are at 49. I think it would be cool. I think it would be all right if we just started the next session.
Okay, but I want to open with this though. Do you guys? Let's say this will be a final question before we get to the next section. Is if social media? What?
I missed a part of the prompt.
Oh, you're fine.
Well, I think this could be a really good thing. So there was what platforms that are at risk of exploiting privacy. The last part. Anyway.
Huh?
You were saying?
Oh no, I was just saying. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say. Ow. Hang on. What I was gonna say was that. Oh, if not social reform, but if technological, like if rules came into place where social media was more secure, would you two ever join any social media in the future if it became more secure?
Bravo 6, this is command. Give me a sit rep, over.
Yeah, I mean, if it was secure enough to be like, oh yeah, I can be here and not be assassinated by a hitman if I say something that someone doesn't like.
Right? That's fair point.
I mean, like, doubtful that's ever gonna happen, but like, it's the principle of the thing.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. But anyway, yeah, let's segue into the last section, and anybody can start.
Yeah. Any further questions or comments regarding the topic? What are ways to protect yourself, if any? Now, I have heard good things about like full system VPNs.
Right.
It's like, I mean, obviously there's YouTube sponsorships that are like, oh, it's military grade encryption protection and such, but I have also heard quite poor things about military grade algorithms.
Yes, I have too. Yeah.
Not like they're all bad or all perfectly amazing, but they're better than nothing for sure.
Right. You know, yeah, and I have to, I'll say VPNs are a good way to protect. I recommend, oop, I just shot my teammate. Don't do that, folks. I recommend VPNs. That is definitely a cheaper, more cost. I just shot my teammate again. Sorry, guys. It's a more cheaper and cost-effective way to protect yourself. We actually have one. And, you know, let me just casually roll up to an APC and plant C4. That happens in real life, folks. No, it doesn't.
You really should not be surviving fire from
Nope,
that
I shouldn't be considering that it's like a 30 caliber cannon. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, VPNs are good. And just, you know, just watch where you're going. I mean, really just, you know, use your conscience and use VPNs, use ad blockers if you can. And yeah, just be conscious where you're going to go. And then cats, you're safe. Don't forget about you. Like anything on just the question in general.
Yes, are you there?
Oh. Did he die?
I'm hearing something from his end, but I don't... Cats, are you okay?
He's having...
wake up, buddy.
He's having PTSD from the conversation. But no, yeah, cats, anything you want, your thoughts on this section, just in general.
No, I pretty much said what I wanted to. Sorry about that,
No, I meant the next section. Like, any questions or just, like, how to protect yourself on the online space.
Well, in my opinion, while VPNs are good, they're not, like...
Foolproof.
They're not foolproof.
Yeah.
Like...
Okay, how do you protect yourself? Like, what's your perfect... Not your perfect way, but what ways do you protect yourself? If you were going to think about it and put it into words.
Control is located southwest of your position, less than half a click away.
I really don't have one because
destroy the missiles in flight.
So you tell me you use foreknowledge. You obviously don't like download pirated software. That's a method of protecting yourself.
Yeah, but like no matter what, the internet, no matter what happens, like you're never truly safe on the internet.
And this is true. But just spitball with me. I mean, what advice would you just offer to somebody who's a novice to computers anyway, and that was like, okay, because there are people out there that go, oh, how do I protect myself? You know, what are ways to safeguard my information? What would you tell them? I know you know something on this.
What I would tell them is, first of all, good luck, have fun. Second of all,
wow, what a great advice.
Getting a VPN would be good, but don't overly rely on it.
Yeah, don't solely rely on that protection alone, because you can always give yourself some more security by just knowing that suspicious things are suspicious.
When utilizing the internet, there are people who can and will try to screw you over.
If you get an email from your bank and it seems suspicious, like it has a typo, or the numbers and like the phone number doesn't make sense, or like the email address doesn't make any sense, don't respond to it. Don't click any of the links. Just ignore it. Pretend it doesn't exist. Leave it there.
Yeah. Or it's like the IRS. The IRS will never contact you by phone and say they're going to impound your life either.
Impound your life?
There you go, yeah. You came up with that just now. Well, I say that because you know how you get those like those things from like car dealerships, quote unquote, that say they're going to impound your car.
We're calling you about, we're trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
Exactly, yeah, or your credit card. Like I love it when they say, hey, and that's another thing about privacy too. This is a whole other conversation that we'll have another time. Like when people call me up and they're like, oh, your credit card is like got like ties to the Al Qaeda. It's like, psych. I don't have a credit card. And
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I one time got called I accidentally answered a call from a scammer. And I let the guy talk for about 10 minutes. He's like, I need to know your credit. Like I'm speaking with a horrible Indian accent because that's what the guy
The stereotype.
Yeah, the stereotype.
He had the stereotypical Indian accent. He's like, I need to know your credit card information.
Yeah.
I work for Redwood. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I work for the bank that you have a thing at.
I thought you were gonna say I work for Redwood Credit Union. I was gonna go, really? When? Like keep going.
Dude, I was trying not to say the bank name.
No, it's a public name. They don't have your account, but keep going.
Stand by. Almost there.
You're fine.
And I let the guy. And sorry for the cuss, but
Got it. Doors coming online now.
Look at that. Sorry, look at that mag change. He literally didn't even take out the magazine or cock back the charging handle. Good job, Bryce.
Yeah. So I let the guy talk for 5 minutes straight. And the moment I said, you do know I don't own a credit card, right? He immediately hung up.
Just gets pissed off. This guy's
No, because he looked like a fool. He thought I was going to give him my credit card information.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why you hung up, because they're like, this guy's too smart. Or actually, this guy's just not stupid enough to fall for my stuff.
I think I would say, like, if it seems like a super serious thing, don't like, if you're gonna panic, like obviously do your best not to panic, but if you do, at least take some time to calm down and think about it first.
Yeah.
Because like with those serious allegations or things that they say that are like super serious, I would guess that they are trying to get you to panic so that you make a rash decision that will hurt you. But like obviously there's gonna be something wrong. There's gonna be some inconsistency that you can point out and be like, this isn't right.
Yep. Well, and it's very, you know, if you just take it, as Chad said, if you take the time to kind of relax a minute and just really think about, like, you know, okay, you know, put into context of the situation and work it through your brain. A lot of people, you are fully capable, to any audience that would like watch this and would need advice, you're capable of deterring these type of people and just protecting yourself. You just kind of have to use a little bit of foreknowledge and just common sense. Like, you know, it's like this, you know, with credit card companies, you wouldn't walk to somebody on the street and go, hey, here's my house address. Same thing with that situation. You wouldn't tell them your information. So that is a way to protect yourself. Just using common sense. I'm not trying to be like condescending, but it's like, you know, just think before you act. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I know Chad's saying too. So,
and also like in the vein of like, there's always gonna be like some inconsistency.
Yep.
It's like let's say you get an email from your phone, and the address looks mostly correct, but there's some sort of small, like minuscule, barely noticeable mark, like a punctuation mark, like a period or something, that you would never notice if you didn't like take the time to look at it. But that's like the only sign that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Just take a closer look.
Yep, read the fine print. It's like, you know, Pokemon Go. Like, Pokemon Go is relevant to this because it's a digital product. Pokemon Go, I'm assuming that they have stored so much information ever since its inception, just that app alone. Because it's all real-time data that's how you find Pokemon. And I don't even, who knows what they get from that, you know? I'm curious. I knew it! I knew it! I was gonna test that theory out to see if that barrel would kill me, and it did. I knew it! I hate that crap, but, yeah.
Alright, well, any final words, gentlemen?
There, I found a barrel. Yeah, what say you, cats? End us off. Send us off with glorious.
Send us off with fiery rhetoric. Speech that would shake the warriors of old.
Yeah, end us off with a question
What I have to say is data privacy and data protection are very important. They are very undervalued in today's society because it's not something that's been pushed. Like, I keep on seeing a lot of VPN now being pushed, but for the wrong reason. A lot of the time they're like pushing VPN to be like, oh, you can't watch Game of Thrones in your country? You can watch it under this VPN.
Well, it's like those streaming sites, how they come from like Russia and they like, you know, it's like anime. You can watch shows that are from different parts of the country. Again, it's like a going around that you can't access. Is that what you're getting at, Cats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like VPNs aren't supposed to do that. VPNs are supposed to protect you, not be utilized to go around restrictions.
Right.
But they can be used for that. So why would you
That's
not?
not what the, but that's the entire point. You're using something that's meant for privacy and using it to get around restrictions.
Well, yes,
illegally.
but night vision was something that was made for the military, but it's in use by hunters and people who need to see at night in general.
Yeah, and that's been released to the public that way. What I'm saying is
You're basically, it's like abusing the technology, right?
They are, because
Yeah.
like every time I see a VPN commercial, it's always about, hey, you want to watch Game of Thrones in your country, but you can't get this VPN. I'm like, no, the main reason you should get a VPN is to protect yourself and your privacy.
Yeah.
And like they'll always end like, your privacy should never be public. And I'm like, what? That entire shout out was about privacy. It was more about it was more about going with the flow and taking out any restrictions that you have in your country. And I'm like,
yeah. Oh, and I think that's a more complicated topic in a way too, because I mean, there's, you know, like streaming sites, or I mentioned before, we can watch free movies and stuff. Like, yeah, obviously, like, you know, if a company comes out with a movie, you got to buy a ticket for it legally, and you have to go watch it, and you know, you have to pay for it. You have to pay for everything. It's like video games; you have to pay for video games to play them. But there are so many different ways to dissect what is wrong and right about that. But since we are at the hour mark, closing thoughts from all of us. I will go last because I'm the host. Just on well, I was just say closing thoughts just on privacy, and you know, how do we feel about privacy right now in the online space?
Not great.
Right.
I think that's all I have to say. I think I've spoken all my thoughts
All right.
during this discussion.
I'm sure me and Cats are on the same thing. Cats, what say you? Just how do you feel about?
Really hasn't changed.
Right. It's the same thing where it's just kind of I mean, it's not safe. It is not safe in a lot of ways. But
yeah, it's not safe.
yeah. Well, and my hope, the thing I'll say is my hope is that as time goes on and as, you know, we kind of figure out technology, the more we use it, just like, you know, practice makes perfect. There's that saying. I just pray that, you know, people will wake up, pay attention to what is private, what is not. You know, which really nothing's private anymore. They can find it, and just be more conscious about the decisions they make. You know, make that effort to just think about, okay, am I gonna go on social media today? You know, it's like the TED talk on anonymity, where it's like, you know, okay, maybe, yeah, sure, this spot is a place where I can be completely anonymous, but do I want to be on that? Because there's some dark places to 4chan. 4chan is not a place I want to go to personally, but or any forum, you know. And it's just, you know, you know, what if the bad starts overtaking the good in those circumstances? And when it comes to just protecting users, you know, again, be conscious about what you're doing. It's, again, that TED Talk about where the lady was talking about Facebook and how they will use facial recognition. You know, cameras are everywhere taking pictures of you. You know, we got to be conscious of that. And, also the TED Talk about how iOSs, they come with encrypted, like the texts are apparently encrypted versus Androids that are not. And, and like how like that affects FBI investigation. Like if the guy mentioned it, hey, if a police officer or whatever, if they take that back to the station, it's harder to access Apple stuff than Android stuff. It's also something that we need to be talking about, and, you know, because we want law enforcement to have access to stop criminals, but we also have to be aware of the double-edged sword of how that's going to come back and stab us and screw us over. So, but anyway, cool beans. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. I appreciate that.
But of course.
And hopefully I'm going to bring somebody else next time to add on to the conversation, and we will probably one of my other classmates from a different class, but and hopefully we get some people in the comments, if they're comfortable, to kind of do a discussion.
Well,
but that's fine if they don't.
Chaos joined, or Red joined.
No, I know Red joined. Yeah,
he said hello, but I didn't want to interrupt the conversation to say.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, I saw that. No, because I'd love to have a conversation both in the chat and this, but totally people are comfortable. Anyway, good episode, and we will do episode 2 in a couple